In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The banking world is changing. How has the pandemic impacted lending in this country? That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is The Jeff Crilley Show.
Dallas Business Journal is blocking you.
Well, welcome to my show. I can tell you that the media is all doom and gloom on the economy. Everything's going off the cliff. Nobody's borrowing money. And that's simply not true, according to my next guest, Lisa Armstrong. She's the market president for iBeriabank, which recently merged with First Horizon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I agree that the media often paints this ugly picture that the economy is going off the cliff, and that's not what you're seeing.
No, we're not. I think we're blessed to be in Dallas. I'll start there, Jeff. I think a lot of the country is struggling a little bit more than we're struggling. But I think as I look at overall with our clients, we have pockets of folks that are really, really having a hard time, and it's very challenging. But for the most part, business is continuing to go. Businesses are doing just fine. And Dallas is a unique economy in that a lot of people here make money with their brains. And so it's real easy to pick that up and move it to the house. So.
And I know the banking space is really competitive. It seems like there's a bank on every single corner. You guys are not the new kids on the block. You guys have been around for a while.
We have. We moved to Dallas in 2014 with the acquisition of a boutique private bank. And started a commercial bank from ground zero, which is great fun and a lot of work, but very, very rewarding, and we've enjoyed it immensely. And so now we are very much a boutique bank. I don't think it's easy to compete if you want to be all things to all people, but if you know exactly what you want to do and where you want to compete, you can be very, very successful. And so we are a commercial bank and a private bank. So our clients really are businesses of any size, and they're owners, executives, investors, and then wealthy individuals. We have a boutique private bank that one of our standard products is a portfolio mortgage. And so you hear all the horror stories of people getting their mortgages sold. We make jumbo mortgages and we own them, and so you don't end up getting your mortgage sold.
It sounds like your philosophy is much more a personalized bank than some of these big banks that you're just a number in a file.
And that is exactly right. And that's really the core of our bank, is all about relationships. Because I've been a banker for a long time, and there's really not very much more personal than your money. And you really want to know the person you're talking to. You want to know all about them, and they want to know about you. And if we do our job well, our job is to help you as a client achieve your goals. It's not about what we want, it's about what you want. And you have to know each other to make that work.
That's very cool. You recently merged with First Horizon. Tell us what that merger was about.
So iBeriabank is 130 some odd years old, and we were a Southeast bank in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. A little presence in the Carolinas and a little presence in Tennessee. First Horizon was all over Tennessee, all over the Carolinas, and so they really sit right on top of us. And you hear lots of conversation about mergers of equals. This really is a merger of equals. We are putting the best processes in place from either side. We were about the same size, and so we were a little bigger than 30 billion. They were a little bit bigger than 30 billion, and as of 3/31, we were $79 billion together, with very little overlap other than Florida.
And COVID-19. I mean, we can't go through this segment without talking about COVID-19. You guys had to pivot too. Everybody did, right?
Everybody did. And so we initially went to drive-through only and continued to care for our clients through drive-through only and appointments. We have since reopened our lobbies, and clients may come into the bank now without having to make an appointment. But it really has changed the way we look at everything. We've got really proficient at Zoom and WebEx and Teams and really connecting with people over a camera, which I know you do really, really well. Bankers on the other side, we're getting there slowly but surely. The other thing that's really interesting about COVID is the impact to the community. I think a lot of people were very afraid. And so having that personal relationship, to know you could talk to your banker and you could talk about, okay, the uncertainty was really the killer in Dallas to start with. What does it mean? Where are we going? And so just to be that calming presence, and then help clients all the way through this, payroll protection loans. And I would say that Iberia made about a little over $2 billion. First Horizon made about $2 billion in payment protection. And in Dallas, we made 253 loans for almost $65 million to help get through that uncertainty. Mm-hmm. And it's very valuable because people need to eat. And so it's good. It's been good.
And you guys are very involved in the community. You support a lot of wonderful things. What are some of your favorites?
So I am very partial to the Dallas Arboretum for lots of reasons. Most of which is I love Dallas Blooms, and we are the presenting sponsor for Dallas Blooms, and it is an oasis within our city that really brings tourists to Dallas, accolades to Dallas, so I'm partial there. But we also support the food bank. It's important. And we support Habitat for Humanity, and we support the Family Place. And so we tend to be very focused with where we choose to invest in the community. And for me, it's all about trying to break the cycle of poverty. And you do that with food security, housing security, safety. And so there is a method to why we do what we do, and that's really what it's all about.
What are some things that would surprise people about iBeriabank? I mean, most people, do you think most people know what a private boutique bank is?
I don't know if they do. I would say that what is surprising about us is we are competing with bankers, with relationships, with really core values of helping. And it's not about footprint, because banking to me is really changing. And I choose to be part of the bank of the future, not the bank of the past. Mm-hmm. And that's really technology and personal relationships.
Well, I remember back at the beginning of the Great Recession, 11 years ago, mm-hmm. It seems like credit just kind of froze and nobody was making loans. Why is it different this time?
I think with the challenge in the Great Recession was the financial markets that started the catalyst for that. And so, a lot happened, and it was free fall for some businesses, and there was a lot of things going on. With this challenge, it's a macroeconomic challenge. And what we're finding is businesses are really resilient. They're really creative. And so as they look at what they do to take care of their clients, just like we look at what we do to take care of our clients, it's different than it was before, but there are still ways to be very successful doing it, and businesses in Dallas, Texas are doing that.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave the audience with?
I would leave the audience with, we have been in Dallas now for 6 years. We're really excited to be here. Dallas is a big part of where iBeriabank First Horizon is going. We are growing. We are always looking for talent, and we are very, very excited about the future, both for the bank and for the market.
Lisa, you have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to leave by putting up the website. iBeriabank.com is the website. Lisa Armstrong, Market President. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.